car that 75-year-olds like to say they have the only one in the world because the left fender got scratched coming out of the factory. But at the same time, the car that teenagers beat the absolute shit out of. There's no in between for the poor Chevy Corvette. This video is going to focus mostly on the C5, C6, C7, and C8 variants. The ones before that are mostly considered like collector's items now and not really like a, like a fun sports car to go buy and, drive and whatever. They're too valuable at this point. So we're going to focus on mostly the C5 and up. But before we get too far into this video, I want to let you know that things are going to change a little bit. I did start another channel that I'm going to link down below if you want to. It's going to be more of my like IRL race car stuff, all of my like vlog style, but even though it's not a vlog. All of the IRL stuff, me working on my car, me going for drives, me at the racetrack, everything like that is going to be on that channel. It will be linked down below if you're interested, and thanks for watching. If you do have to get a C4, right, they're cheaper. They're much cheaper than the C5s. You either want to get a 1992 or up that comes with the LT1 making 300 horsepower, or if you can, get a 1996 that comes with the LT4. It makes 330 horsepower and it has a 6-speed manual. So if you have to get a C4, finding a 96 or a 92 and up. Other than that, I would probably avoid them as they didn't make much power before that, and it's kind of just not worth it at that point. But if you have one, they're still cool. They're still cool. So we'll start with the C5 Corvette that came out in 1997. The first C5 had the LS1 equipped, making 345 horsepower in 1997. In 2001, the C5 would see the Z06 variant added, making 385 horsepower, but also being 50 pounds lighter than the base model. In 2002, however, the Z06 would make 405 horsepower. You can't go wrong with the C5. If you're gonna buy a C5, they're at a great price point right now. I would argue that it is the best performance per dollar that you can buy currently right now on the market out of any car. European, Japanese, whatever. I think the Corvette is one of the best values out there currently. And the C5 sits right at that $10,000 range, which makes it perfect for people like you and me who don't have $1 billion to go buy one. So, if you have a C5, great choice. They look great. Lots of people's favorite, the C6 Corvette. It came out in 2005 with a 6-liter, making 400 horsepower, also known as the LS2. In 2006, the Z06 was back with a 7-liter, making 505 horsepower. And the best Corvette to date, the 2009 came out with the ZR1. Supercharged 6.2-liter V8, making 638 horsepower from the factory. In 2014, the C7 came out. Before that, but after 2009, there were other variants like they came out with a convertible, they came out with the Grand Sport. The Grand Sport is just the ZR1 chassis, so it's a little bit wider, it's a little bit stiffer, with the regular Corvette's drivetrain. So the regular engine, regular transmission. The C6 is also a great value. I think they look a little bit better than the C5. They also are a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a better car. And I would argue that the C6 maybe not as good value for money yet because they're not old enough. But like a perfect time to buy one is right now because they're fun and you can go drive it and not worry about it. They're a little bit more than a C5, so it's not like a go beat on it car, but it's not like a new car either where you're like, oh, I can't scratch it or I'm never gonna get my money back. It's a perfect in between of like something a little bit more luxury, but like not as good as a brand new car, but still one of the best values on the market. Like any Corvette, you can't go wrong. Just like the Corvette Z06 gets you extra horsepower, you can get extra content. If you hit the join button down below, it's $2.99 a month. I'm gonna post an extra video every month of whatever topic you guys can decide. You're going to get discounts on my merch, private Discord, everything like that. If you're interested, go ahead and click the button. 2014, my favorite generation came out, the C7. The C7 came out with the LT1. Now that might be confusing because I said the C4 came with an LT1. And it is confusing because I have no idea what it means. It's on paper, they're the same engine. Obviously, they're not. I don't know why they went back to LT. I don't know why they couldn't pick another letter, but here we are. So the C7 comes with the new LT1, 455 horsepower. In 2015, the Z06 was back once again. 6.2 supercharged V8, making 650 horsepower. That's pretty good. After 2015, the Grand Sport was offered again, which was the Z06 with the, we've been over this before, you get it, that's what a Grand Sport is. If I say Grand Sport from now on, that's what it means. And in 2019, the C7 ZR1 was released. And the ZR1 was a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 making 755 horsepower. It also came with a big wing on the back and was one of the first Corvettes to do so because, I mean, you need one with all that power. That was the most powerful Corvette to date, but then we get to 2020. And if you're going to buy a C7, I think you're getting a steal. It's still pretty much a new car. It's got new car features. They're depreciated enough now where it makes sense to buy one, right? Because it's sort of that in between. Like another generation came out. They just released some new stuff with the C8. So the C7 is, again, a great value. And they're a little bit more expensive, but you are getting a way, but I think they look the best out of any Corvette. The C7 looks the most aggressive. But you're getting a great deal if you choose any C7. They're all great. But in 2020, the C8 came out. The C8 obviously being mid-engined, engine behind you instead of in front like all of the other Corvettes. Why did they do it? I don't know. Was it a good choice? Yeah, I mean, I think it was. Putting, better engineering is always a good choice. In 2020, the C8 Corvette came with the LT2 engine, which again, why did we go back to the LTs? But that's a conversation for a different day. Made 495 horsepower and the engine was behind you, as we talked about. In 2023, the Z06 C8 came out, making 670 horsepower out of a 5.5 liter V8. I guess Father Time caught up to the Corvette. We just pretend it doesn't exist, sort of like the Mach-E. We just kind of leave it over there for like all the regular people to own who want an electric Corvette for some god-forsaken reason. And we're going to skip that one, and we're going to go to the greatest Corvette to ever exist to date, the 2025 Corvette ZR1. I'm sure you've heard about it. Twin turbocharged V8 making 1,064 horsepower. That's insane. That's a lot of power. Now, the C8 is obviously the newest generation, so there's still a lot of money. And if you can afford one, then by all means, it's a great car for the money, and you're getting a lot of performance for the dollar. Personally, I would rather have a C7 because you could probably get a C7 Z06 over a new C8. I would pick that personally, but it's all personal preference. Come on, let's just be honest. If you can afford a 2025 ZR1, I am jealous, and I would like to be in your position one day. That's about it. Sometimes I feel bad for everybody that came before us, like the Vikings. The Vikings could never buy a 1,064 horsepower Corvette ZR1 from the factory. They just couldn't do it. But you know what they could do? Race boats. Regular Racing is my company that I've started with one of my friends. I've designed all of these shirts myself, so if you like one, you can go to the link in the description to pick one up. They're super comfortable. Like, I actually enjoy the shirt. I enjoy wearing it. There is another one, the Martian Grand Prix. If you want to show all your friends that you went to space and you watched the UFOs, race like NASCAR, then pick that one up as well. We also offer race car rentals and everything of the sort. So go to the link in the description to learn more. But I really do enjoy this shirt. So I'm serious, this is the best thing that we offer. Buy it. But we're not done yet. In 2026, it's rumored that the Corvette Zora is going to come out, named after the designer of the ZR1. It's going to be crazy. This is just rumors at this point, but it's supposed to be the ZR1 with 1,064 horsepower plus the front-wheel drive E-rate electric engines, bumping the power to somewhere around 1,400 horsepower, and being all-wheel drive. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. If it comes out, obviously, I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't work at GM, unfortunately. But that's it. That's all of the Corvettes that are, the newer ones that aren't, considered like old and collectors. I can make a video on that if you'd like. Really, you can't go wrong with the Corvette. I think the Corvette is the best performance per dollar, no matter what generation you look at. If you compare it to another generation of like the 911 or, the M3 or the Camaro or the Mustang, or, you compare it to any car of its day, it's going to beat it for the dollar, 100%. You really can't go wrong with a Corvette. That is a big spider. But let me know, what Corvette do you have? What Corvette generation is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below, and mine. Mine's the C7. So there's a spider on the wall that I'm looking at over there, if that's... I need to kill that. That's all I've got for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and the spider fell.